introduction.
Let's
Peace
go.
and blessings, everyone. It's your girl Mocaso, and we are here for another Luminous book club. And we have the honor of being here with Aaron Hester, aka Hes, in the metaverse, talking about his book, Off-Field Issues. Now, yes, it says off-field issues because he's using his experiences from an athlete's point of view, but these are lessons that you'll be able to apply in every aspect of your life to make sure that you're performing at your best. And one of the things I will say is that he said it best. So I'm not going to do a lot of talking during this conversation. I'm going to let Hes share his story, his perspectives, and what he learned and is applying off the field. So to kind of get started, I do have the book, which I recommend everybody getting as well. You can get it on Amazon, and there are so many gems that you can read this, pass this on to another young person especially, and teach them the things that if you would have known, at a younger age, would have put you so much further ahead. So just to get us started, Off-Field Issues says, Off-Field Issues addresses and provides solutions to the issues and challenges that all athletes must overcome in order to reach peak performance. This book is for athletes, written by an athlete, touching on topics like character, integrity, and work ethic. This guidebook is a tool that will program the minds of athletes for success. Filled with stories and first-hand experience, Off-Field Issues is sure to take an average athlete towards greatness and will help great athletes maximize their potential. And if you don't know who Aaron Hester is, let me also fill you in on that. Aaron Hester was born in Los Angeles, California in 1990. He attended Dominguez High School, where he was a standout athlete, winning 2 CIF championships in football and 1 state championship in track and field. Aaron was a part of a history-making 4x4 relay team that ran 3 minutes and 9 seconds, and which is the 5th fastest time in the high school history, earning a full-ride football scholarship to UCLA. Hester was a 4-year starter at the cornerback position. After his college career, he was invited to and participated in the NFL Combine in 2013. Aaron went on to play in the NFL for 4 years, having contracts with the Denver Broncos, Detroit Lions, San Diego Chargers, and Kansas City Chiefs. He is now a multi-entrepreneur and a mentor to the younger athletes, and here in the metaverse to tell us all about those lessons he's learned throughout becoming who he is and getting to where he is now and sharing that with the next. So Hes, please, I know I gave you a great introduction there that you've probably have pitched yourself many times, but please introduce yourself.
That was a perfect intro, man. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate it. But yeah, man, my name is Aaron Hester, and Mo pretty much said everything that I can say about myself. But I'm ready to answer questions about the book. I want to thank everybody for showing up and showing support. And hopefully some people can take some lessons from this conversation and pass them on and spread the light. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Well, let's get into it because, yes, you said a lot in your book. And one of the things I really liked is that there was just so many stories. And it's like every point you would make, you would have like a supporting detail. And so kind of just like I had, started out with reading the back of the book to give everybody a real insight on what it is, I want to read a little segment that really stuck out to me that I felt really summarized exactly one of the points that you were really, hitting home with this change that it takes in order to be success, which is not every athlete is going to be fortunate enough to have their day ones with them. And that is completely okay. You will meet your tribe along your journey. You must always keep your energy high. You aren't going to have time to be dealing with neighborhood gossip and hood politics. Evolution must be on the mind every single person in your circle. Your circle should be trying to protect you from nonsense, not trying to keep you involved in it. You may lose some friends along your journey. That is the case for most athletes who take this thing all the way. Although this may hurt your feelings, it will be necessary. Don't start to develop survivor's remorse. Survivor's remorse is when you start to feel bad about your own success because people you know and love aren't successful. You're going to have to face the fact that people are going to have to get left behind. Do not dumb down your program so that your old friends can have something to connect on. We don't have time for none of that. Purpose-driven people are extremely sensitive to energy. Everyone around you must match your frequency and energy levels. Your circle should be training with you in the off season. They should be so involved in your regiment that you would think they play as well. And you really just, went into that mindset on you have to be able to sacrifice. And I would love to just kind of start there with talking about your story and some of the things that you had to, transition into as you started to gain success, right? And what that looked like when you realized, like, wow, I can really go to the NFL, and what you had to do to really achieve that. And
maybe even before then, college,
right, or college,
like, man, you might have to skip a couple high school parties here and there, or whatever may have been your process to get to college.
Yeah. Well, man, that's crazy hearing somebody else read my words, man. But sacrifice is a lot of people don't want to sacrifice. A lot of people just want the results without making the sacrifice, and I think that's the problem with a lot of people nowadays. Like when I was coming up in high school, there were certain things that you just didn't do. You know what I mean? You couldn't be at the parties smoking weed, drinking, hanging out with I went to high school in the hood, so a lot of my friends were from gangs. I never joined a gang, you know what I'm saying? That's one sacrifice I made. You can't do everything when you're trying to be special. You can't dumb your brand down. You can't water yourself down. And once I realized that I had a shot at going to college, I just really locked in and stayed focused on the mission. But you got to sacrifice fun sometimes. Everything ain't about fun, and everything ain't gonna be for fun. It's more fun when you get to where you want to go, and then you get there, and then you're like, oh, this success is fun. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All the minor stuff and all the stuff that it might seem tempting at the moment, but it's not gonna satisfy you in the end. So you just really got to know where you want to go, and then you got to assess the people in your life too, because people have a heavy influence on you. Their words have a heavy influence on you. Your ears are a portal to your soul. So you got to watch what you're listening to and watch who you're taking advice from, because they might not have the same plans or the same vision as you. And when things start getting real, that's when you start seeing who was really for you. Because I had a lot of friends in high school before I started getting Division I offers, and then once the offers came, that's when I started seeing a lot of people switch on me because it got real. You know what I mean? And once it got real, you start seeing people choose sides. And one of my day one homies is in here right now. His name is Kev. That's like he been my best friend since we was in like first or second grade. So he's really the only person. He's really the only person that been with me the whole journey. I've made other friends along the journey, but he's been there. He's seen every step of my life from childhood all the way up to the NFL and even after. But everybody's not going to be fortunate to have like a big group around them all the time. So yeah, you just got to really pick your tribe and see who resonate with your soul.
That's amazing, man. It's safe to say Kev would be your friend if you probably never touched the football. It's just
yeah. He was there, but he was there before any football. He was my friend just because of who I am, just because I'm Aaron and not because of what I did,
Right. And I love how he said, he seen you posting your story, click the link, and he came here on time. Yep. Like, that's a real friend right there. Clap it up for Kev. Yeah. Man. We need more friends like Kev. Kev
was in here before me.
Okay.
I want to give a shout out to my I want to give a shout out to my boy OC in here too. He over there in the bleachers, Randall Carroll. I met him at UCLA, and me and him bonded. He was kind of he's younger than me. He's like a little brother to me, but he's always supported me and everything I did since the time we met. And he's always gave me advice. I've always given him advice, and we had a good relationship from UCLA, and we still talk and support each other now.
Nice. That's great. And so when you were going through this, what were some of those things that helped you get through it, right? Because I mean, you dropped a gem that's what it takes, but when you're going through it, like you said, it's hard and it's going to hurt your feelings. Mm-hmm. But it's what we all go through, and you hear that same, pattern with everyone that goes to that success, where, like you said, not everybody's going to make it, and those ones that do will stand out. And so was there any lessons that you really used to help you get through that, with even being able to identify that?
Were you just not a quitter, or did you just hate losing, or was it more or a mix of both?
My thing is, I just always wanted to do something big with my life, and I was ready to take on whatever came with it, So I had older mentors and stuff like Richard Sherman, or my boy. I had a lot of mentors, but Richard Sherman was one of them, and I would always talk with him because we went to high school together. He's older than I am by a couple of years, but I would just see guys that I was close to making it, and I would just ask them, like, I would just look at how they live their life, and I would try to incorporate some of the stuff that they did into my life. You know what I mean? It takes discipline, man. You read, like I said in my book, you either suffer the pain of discipline or you suffer the pain of regret. Mm-hmm. So I would much rather suffer the pain of discipline than regret not being disciplined in the end. And I would always want to put myself in position to give myself a shot. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happens after that is up to God, to the Most High, whatever you call it, Allah, universe, But I always want to take care of my part. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want it to be my fault.
Right. No, and that's a great way to put it, man. And that's why so many of the things that you were saying in this book was like a great way to say all of the things that I be thinking. And that's why I was like, man, you're such a great author. The way that you even like summarized it, to be able to say it just like that, so straightforward, in a sense that made sense, where it's like, okay, now I can go and apply that. And even what you just mentioned brings me to one of the quotes, or it makes me think about one of the quotes in your book, where you said, you must be professional before you are professional. And that same thing where, like you said, you've seen other people happening and becoming professional. So when was that moment that you knew that you were special and about to make it and started going 100%?
Or that discipline to carry you over?
What you say, Mo? I mean, X.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, was she I was just adding a little 2 cents to where it was just like, where was it to where you figured, like, oh, my discipline to carry me over talent or, luck or chance or anything, where it was just like, nah, the fact that I'm going to be up.
Okay, yeah, it started in high school when like I said in my book, like I wasn't really the most. I got a lot of talent. Don't get me wrong, but my high school team was full of talent. People who should have went to the next level, but they didn't have the discipline that it took to go to the next level. They always had the talent to go to the next level. They were professionals as far as talent went, but mindset wise, they didn't really have it. You know what I mean? So I always wanted to. For some reason, intuitively, I always knew that my mindset was going to take me further than anything. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's a lot of people who got talent, but if your mind's not right, you're not going to have that focus that you need to pull from to be consistent. You know what I mean? You might be on and off. You might be good this week, and then next week you might something might be bothering you mentally, and you might not show up that week. So I always wanted to just make sure that I have my mind right, and then just let my athletic talent be extra. You know what I mean?
For
Right.
sure.
No, and I like how even in like I said in your book, you say something like that and then you back it up. So I think one of the really great
Hmm.
points that you made in this book that back up even what you said just now, which is the segment where you were talking about mastering your craft, and you said mastering your
Hmm.
craft brings wealth. And so I would love for you to expand even
Yep.
more on that because I know you went in, they always say you got to have at least 10,000 hours, and you even kind of went into that science
Hmm.
of it with, being like, okay, well, if you do, 10,000 hours and it was, 24 hours a day, then yeah, you can get through it. But realistically, if you only got 3 hours a day that you put into it, then that's going to take you 3,333 days, which is like 9 years to really master something. So again,
Hmm.
when you started understanding those kind of things, how did you start applying it? What were some of those things that you started to do to be able to like master your craft? Because we say that, but it's again harder in that moment.
Right. So what I would do is I would always just try to do something to have an edge, over because sports and shit, life is competitive, So whatever craft you got, no matter if you play a sport or whatever you do, no matter what you're doing, you should be so passionate about it that you always looking for an edge to get one up on the next person because that's what's gonna separate you. And I always knew that you know, I always kind of loved what I was doing. I loved running track. I loved playing football, and I love speaking wisdom now, and I didn't know I was gonna write a book until I wrote it, and now I love writing books. So I just know that putting in that work and mastering your craft, you got to be good at something to start amassing wealth at some point. The wealth might not come right away, but the more that you put in the work, it's bound to pay off in the end. I'm not saying that money should be your main motivation. It's just that you worked on it so much that you got so much value now that they can't help but pay you.
Right. Right. And then like you said, it all starts adding on to one another. You start growing in that. Now like you said, now you're writing books and you didn't understand how maybe back, you had a class where you were writing and you really enjoyed it. And now here it is years later actually adding to your purpose. And so
Hmm.
if anybody in the audience as well has any questions, feel free to unmute and ask away. Like I said, in this book, Hess really just dives into a bunch of different lessons that he learned on and off the field that he's applying. So I would love to just kind of keep picking through them a little bit. I know that you had a few other
Sure.
lessons in here, like talking about that savior syndrome and what that is
Hmm.
about, and again, like, talking about those sacrifices and what it takes to come. Because let me see, I know when you were talking about like losing and actually sacrificing, you said take the
Hmm.
pressure off yourself and change it from a necessity to a goal. I guarantee you will achieve it much faster because the resistance is gone. And again, I think those are one of
Hmm.
those gems that go over your head if you read it too quick when you talk about the
Yeah.
resistance. And so
Yep.
I would love for you to kind of touch on that and that savior syndrome and that resistance and what that looked like. Or even if you have a story,
Yeah.
because I know, like I said, I know you had dropped a couple stories throughout here or anything you want to touch on in that manner.
Hmm. Yeah. So, savior syndrome, or some people call it white knight syndrome, is where you kind of you take on the responsibility of everybody's problems, and so you try to make what you doing as the answer of to solve other people's problems. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
if that's at the forefront of your mind, that could kind of cause a person to crash out in the end because you doing too much. You know, you have it in the backup. And I'm not saying forget your family and forget your loved ones and forget about their problems and just be selfish and focus on you. What I'm saying is keep it as a subconscious goal and not as a conscious necessity. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, oh, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to get my, you know, everybody want their family life to be better. But if you take too much stock, if you put too much stock in it, it can cause a person to crash out. And if you're thinking about everybody's problems before you go out and play a game or something, and if you make a mistake, you kind of feel like it's over for everybody. And, you know, you wearing this, you carrying this weight of trying to be the savior for everybody. When in all actuality, if you just relax, take care of what you need to take care of, those problems will solve themselves. If you just focus on what you got to do and handle your business and take care of what you need to take care of, a byproduct of that will be you being able to take care of everybody else.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I had to pull up that one, man. Because when I read that one, I was like, yeah, he was talking to me for this because, you put that on your back and you're like, man, this is what I'm doing it for. But then, when you start putting all of the things together, where it's like you can't be weighing yourself down with that. You just have to do what you do, and then that's how you solve that issue too. And like you said, start changing it into that goal, that starts to eliminate that problem with the solution, and just even changing that mindset and making it more solution oriented with how your goals solve those goals.
Absolutely. My boy DC just came in. What up, D?
Welcome.
Everybody probably got their joint on mute. They probably don't know how to take it off mute.
Yo, Hess, Kev.
What up?
Yo, congratulations on your first book. I just wanted you to touch on something that's, I think, something that's key that you mentioned, that a lot of times when somebody's trying to make it to their next level, they're trying to get there, and then you got somebody close to your people around you that's making it, or they kind of reaching that level that you kind of want to reach, but you're not there yet. But they kind of, you got people around you that's basically progressing, and I think naturally we want to, we kind of get a little jealous. We kind of feel like we behind, or we start kind of putting ourselves down, or we might kind of start hating on somebody because they kind of where we want to be. But as you mentioned, it's about being pure of heart and being genuinely happy for that person. So what would you say is when a person's struggling with kind of being happy for someone close to them, or kind of being jealous because they haven't made it yet, what would you say you've done to kind of help yourself to genuinely be happy for someone else until you made it there yourself? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good question. What I would say is, the Most High God will put people around you and have them succeed before you as a test for your destiny. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to conquer jealousy. You have to conquer jealousy and envy before you can become successful at anything. You know what I mean? And if another person's success threatens you, then you're not ready to be successful. But it can get to you sometimes because you might not be mature in that area yet, and you see, and you might be focusing so much on the external and what people have that you stop developing internally, which is going to be the conduit for you to manifest things on your outside world. So if somebody's taking off before you are, I'll tell a quick story right here. When I was at I was at Dominguez. Um, One of my teammates, USC, had came up to our school, and they talked to me and another guy on my team, and they said they wanted us to come up to USC campus that following Tuesday. So I wake up that Tuesday morning, and USC called me and told me to stay at home, but they told my teammate to go up there. So they end up offering him. He committed, and I didn't get no offer. You know what I'm saying? That could have been an instance right there where I could have been hating. I could have been mad because they told me they was going to bring me up there too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But literally, I was happy for him. I congratulated him. And that next Monday, I got offered by UCLA. That next Monday.
Wow. Yeah.
So that was it. So you never know when your blessing is coming. So if somebody go up before you, that just mean that the blessings is in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like you said, that'd be that test. You know how you about to act, because then a week later you would have had the offer or not, and now you and your boy would have had some kind of funny relationship because now he sensed that you feeling some type of way, and like you said, just starts testing your character. Like, how you about to act when it's your time? Are you about to be the one to switch up? Because like you said, you already got a lot that you're gonna be battling. So.
Right, or in some instances, the person that get blessed first may be the one coming to bless you too. You never know.
Right.
So you fall out with it.
Absolutely, bro. That's real, bro. That's why you never know, bro. You got to keep your heart pure at all times.
Yeah, the blessings is in the neighborhood. I like that.
Yeah, bro. It's real, bro. And yeah, that like X said, man, that person might. Shit, you never know. If they see that you're a real one, they'll tap in with you and be like, and if they know you deserve it, they might introduce you to some people, you know.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Absolutely. That's a good question, though.
Yeah, man. Thanks for answering that. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Thanks for
Yes,
asking
sir.
that. And were there any other like lessons that you really like sharing out of your book, or that you find yourself giving often?
Yeah, man. I think the chapter on the dating life was my favorite chapter to write. I think it might be the longest chapter, but that's one that a lot of people don't take into consideration, that but that has a big effect on whatever you're doing in life. You know what I'm saying? The partner that you pick and your habits, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like controlling that lust, you know what I'm saying? Controlling a lot of people, especially athletes, get into domestic violence situations. And so I think I wrote on all of that too.
I know, yeah. You gave a little bit of that story when one of your teammates got with his other teammate ex. Like, tell us a little bit of that story so we can really understand what you mean about the importance of that spouse selection. Because, like you said, in that part of the chapter, you just really hit on like just how important it is to understand who you're even connecting with, and like you said, that energy that they're going to bring and how that really is going to affect your life.
Right. So as far as that, the story with my teammates from college. So one of my teammates, he came from like South Carolina or somewhere, and he transferred to UCLA, and he wanted to bring his girl with him to LA. You know girls from down south or somewhere, when they get to LA, they lose their mind.
Mm-hmm.
So she got to LA, and she seen that, it wasn't what she thought it was going to be as far as his situation. She was expecting him to be like a starter, a star, and that just wasn't the case. and she ended up getting with a guy that played the same position. And he was a starter. He was a beast. You know what I'm saying? He was a hog, and he ended up getting drafted. And but when he got with what he ended up getting with the first guy's ex-girlfriend, and he took her to the league with him, and they end up getting into it, and she ended up being the reason he got cut from his NFL team. To make a long story short.
And then you
So
said, and then she left him for another NFL player.
yeah,
and I really like her.
she
Yeah.
yeah, she worked her way up the totem pole.
Right. What'd you say? You said the same way you got him is the same way you gonna lose him. And like you said, you lost your NFL opportunity. Again, connections that you're making, you're ruining and burning for people that don't really have your best interests. And again, even with that, it kind of even goes into that other message that we were talking about, which is being aware of the people that's around and making sure they got your right intentions. Because even on that, the biggest thing was, even just being aware on people's intentions, because no matter how beautiful they are, no matter how, sweet everything they say sound, what are their real intentions there, though?
I always say now, it's like especially like with dating, you kind of got to be selective. Like I can't trust you unless it's hard to trust somebody unless you've been through something with them. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to trust somebody unless you've been through something with them, man. A lot of my friends, they like my boys in here now, like I've been through stuff with them, like they know stuff about me that they know stuff about me that crushed me, and they seen me at my lowest, like getting cut from teams and having to go work out for other teams, or dealing with situations with my kid and my daughter and stuff like that. So I can't trust. It's hard to really trust somebody unless you really been through something with them. Like that's friendships and relationships.
That's so true, man. Because like we just keep saying, that's where you see that true character, right? Like you talk a good talk,
Yep.
but then when it's happening, that's where people show their colors, and you gotta believe them when they do.
Yeah, everybody can talk until them lights come on, and then it's like, oh, what you gonna do?
Right.
Yep.
So it was nice to hear that you're a father. Do you look forward to the day that your daughter reads this book and like as an adult and really has a full understanding and gets to see like where Pops was at mentally at different stages, probably around her age?
Yeah, I definitely want her to read this book because no matter if she wants to be an athlete or not, I think she still should read this book just to see that her dad had the wherewithal to put this together. But I also got like 4 or 5 notebooks full of life lessons from lecturers and different mentors and stuff that I've been saving up for her. And I'm gonna give it to her on her 16th birthday. I've been just writing notes and notes. Like I got 5 different notebooks with just pages just full of notes and different wisdom for her to read. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely got big plans for her in the future. I want her mind to be right more than anything because I want her to be better than me. I want her to be better than her mom. And that's something that I could control because daughters listen to their dad. So I want to feed her spirit and allow her to not get caught up in certain things that I got caught up in or that I've seen other girls get caught up in.
Yeah. And it's nice you got this book. You got a book right here, so she's gonna have it. Her kids gonna have it, and they gonna all have Granddad Hess book to give you the game and put you on a game before you got to learn these hard lessons. And that's exactly what our culture needs is that education that we passing down, that game that we passing down to the next, so that the next generation isn't starting from the mud. Like, nah, let me give you
Yeah.
some of the game that helped me get
Our
ahead.
own blockchain, you hear me? Our own real life keeper.
Yeah, man. I'm doing all the hard work so that my kids don't have to. You know what I mean? I would rather a lot of this stuff I didn't learn till I was grown, like 24, 25. But like before that, my mindset was totally different. But then once I had my daughter, that's when everything got serious and I started changing. From the inside out. But yeah, man, I'm definitely glad I got something, a reference point for her to go to.
Right. And so with that, I know you just
Hmm.
said you have a lot of notebooks with a lot of lessons that you have. You have this book here. So for anybody that doesn't know, what are you're a multi entrepreneur? What are some of the things that you're working on and have in store that we should be on the lookout for?
Metaverse cartoon.
Right, you're in the metaverse now, so will we see you in there
Yeah.
more?
Oh yeah. I'm definitely got more stuff coming in the metaverse. I also have a logistics company with we I got big rig trucks. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of other stuff that I'm working on right now that I don't want to speak on yet,
Okay.
but I want to have it come to fruition first. But yeah, right now I got a logistics company. That's my main thing that I'm focused on right now in this book. And then maybe there's a podcast in the works. I don't know.
Ooh, I could see it, man. Every episode coming with another lesson or something. I could see it for sure.
Yep, yep, yep.
And so I would love to open it up again
Absolutely.
for anybody else. Did anybody else have any questions? I know we have a few people that have popped in. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining. You guys look amazing over in the bleachers.
I
um,
want to thank everybody for coming and showing up and supporting me, man. I appreciate all y'all.
yes, man. This is amazing, man. This is like
Hey man,
oh, go
third,
ahead, Katie.
No,
congratulations. No,
thank you.
I've seen a lot of interviews in the metaverse, man. This got to be top five, man. At least
Oh
maybe even
man,
top three. And it's a great interview right here. A lot of gems.
thank you, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you.
And then I know we had, I think Kevy Kev unmute as well. Did you have something you wanted to add as well?
Oh no, I was just saying congratulations. I think I probably hit the button on accident, but yeah, it was a good experience. Hearing my boy do his first interview in the metaverse too. So I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Right? Drop gems, man. And I'm telling you, if y'all don't have the book, get it because it's one of those that you're going to want to reread. It's like, it's like, it was like listening to one of those motivational books that just get you pumped. Like, man, yes. They said everything getting you motivated.
Right.
Like, I can do this. And so, if nobody else has any questions, I know one of my main questions is you're all about, telling people no matter on or off the field, this book will help you reach your, peak performance and be doing that all the time. So, what are some of those gems that you would just pass along to say, this is what you need to do to be doing that? And, a short summary of your book, kind of, or a lesson or two that would help you if you do this daily or routinely, be performing at your peak performance.
I would say focus on focus on how you feel. A lot of us are a lot of us are dwelling in fear a lot. You know, we might not show it on the outside, but on the inside, we dwelling in fear. I would say try to overcome fear with love and know that you support it in in all aspects. Because just think about everything that we ever stressed about, it ended up working out because we still here. So And I would say get to know yourself and figure out figure out what value that you bring to the collective. You know, what makes you tick, or what gets you going. You know what I'm saying? I know about me. What gets me going is spreading knowledge and spreading light. So that's why I wrote the book. And no matter what you do, you find it, and then you know that you have to get initiated in order for it to go to the heights that you want it to go to. There's an initiation process from the universe. It's gonna test you, and you gotta withstand that test. You're gonna have to let go of a lot of bad habits. You're gonna have to let go of a lot of stale relationships, and you're gonna have to just be willing to put in the sacrifice and put in the work to get to where you want to go. And don't put a time limit on it, and release resistance, and things will work out for you in the end. And a lot of stuff. Once you release resistance, a lot of stuff start happening for you.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's deep, man. That's been a great interview. I'm glad to have you be our first book club guest, man. It's just great that the frequencies aligned and everything was able to come forward. Even though we in the metaverse, I feel like this hit just as if we was all sitting in a library or, congregated somewhere else. Like, man, it's just an honor to have you here and to speak your truth and to go into depth with your book. And then also to let people know, like, man, trust yourself, because in that book, that's what I got from it. There was a lot of times where it was like, of course you trust the high power, you trust God, but you relied on yourself as well. And it was like that was probably one of your biggest drivers, I would presume, but you could probably speak on it more.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think the one of the biggest misconceptions is that we are separate from God, and I feel like we are all just extensions of God, and there's a lot of separation that's not really necessary. But once you realize that God is your own human consciousness, then that's when things start shifting for you, because you start getting different insight, and once you align with that presence, and that's when you start getting different ideas and stuff. That's how I came up with the idea for the book. I started letting go of a lot of earthly and fleshly things that I was into, and once I did that, I started. That's when I came up with the idea for the book. It just kind of came to me because I was aligned with that presence within myself.
Mm. Yeah, I know in your book you said something like there's like that 5% subconscious that controls the 95% of the rest of your conscience or something like that. And like you said,
Yeah.
it's all that influence, everything that we're putting into it, and trusting in God and ourselves, like you said, and understanding that's one and the same, and obeying
Absolutely.
that, respecting
Absolutely.
that, honoring that.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
just want to say, as his boy, he been dropping me gems for years, telling me books I should read, all type of stuff. And for real, his wisdom has like helped me, like for real, reach another level on my life. So he's a wise dude. Like he different. So
Y'all hear it.
Thanks, bro.
And that's what I noticed too when I was reading the reviews. Like, for someone else saying, I don't even play football, but the gems that I picked up from this, I can honestly say that will help. And when I read it, I felt the same. Like, man, again, reassuring that you're on that right path. Like X just said, like you said, trusting yourself. And then having this point of contact where I said, when I'm sitting there, it was so enjoyable to read this, and just be like, wow, this is some good substance that I'm just ingesting and reassuring, and like I said, feeling motivated, putting that down, just having that to read in between instead of spending 30 minutes on Instagram, spending 30 minutes reading here or there.
So I'd like to ask, what books did you read, like, coming up, or would I say, like, early adulthood, to where it was like that even motivated you to even get to this point of writing a book?
Hess, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Might have hit the mute button, bro.
Yeah, I think he's muted there. While we're getting his microphone back, again, we appreciate you all for being here. We're currently streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, and also on Instagram. So you guys know sometimes we do have a special premiere and do it on Instagram Live as well. So yeah, it is there, so you can share it with all of your friends there and show people, book clubs in the metaverse and author meet and greets, and people being able to share what they know here, and us being able to spotlight that. And brought to you by P2D Raw Network. Yeah. And Hess, I still haven't seen you come back on audio. Can you hear us? Okay, I see OC over there breaking it down. We're going to take a nice picture at the end and mint it and send it to everyone that's here as an NFT. So definitely appreciate you all. If you've never had an NFT, then that'll be cool that this is your first NFT. And if you got NFTs, then this will be a really cool addition to the collection. Okay, I see he's back. Welcome, welcome. If you're unmuted, we still can't hear you. And this is, the learning curve of technology. But while we wait, how did you all enjoy being in the space? I know this was the first time for some people being in the metaverse. We're on the football field. Did you guys feel a vibe? Did you enjoy the Gatorade?
This was a cool experience. I've heard about this virtual experience thing, but it was the first time like seeing it in person. It's cool. Got the field on the beach with the weight room, the cars. It's a real nice setup.
Yep. And at the end now, we can have a race as well. So we're gonna see who's the fastest avatar. And I know Hess tried to talk about he was a track champ, and I know this is supposed to be his, but I'm gonna say I got some skills too. So but I'm definitely glad you enjoyed the space, and it's cool. You could be on mobile, laptop. It's easy to join. Let's see.
Build spaces, rent spaces.
Okay, Hess, I see you back. Man, I don't know what.
Oh, he might have got a phone. He might have got a phone call. Phone.
Oh, is that what happens when you get a phone call? It starts messing up with your audio.
Yeah, it takes out the whole audio.
Okay, let me see. Well, I'm gonna pause the audio on the stream. Everybody streaming, stay tuned until we get it going again. I was gonna say because I was gonna play some music, but Hess, I see you're back.
Hey, you might gotta restart your app, bro. Oh, you gone again.
Mm-hmm.
Always wears.
A minute.
It be like that. That's why I told you before we got started, I had to log out and back in just to get fresh because I'm like, you being here too long and then it starts glitching out. So, but X had the last question X had just asked was just which was what books have you read that really inspired you as well?
The Alchemist is one of my favorite books. The Love Code by Alexander Lloyd. The Way of the Superior Man. It's one of my favorite ones. What else? It's a good go-to. Off-field issues.
Okay.
but yeah, I would say the ones that really hit home to me the most was The Alchemist, The Love Code, and The Way of the Superior Man.
Now, those sound interesting. I've read The Alchemist. That's definitely one of my favorites as well, but I haven't read the second two, so I'm adding that to my library, and can't wait to read.
Y'all gonna love the love code. It break everything down. It's not really about relationship love per se, but it kind of is. But it's about dwelling in love over fear. Just teach you different techniques on how to make life easier.
I definitely get that, especially when, like you said, I read a quote before where it says everything you do is out of love and everything you don't do is out of fear. So when, like you said, understanding, how to identify those emotions so that you can even, control your decision making more, definitely see how that can be one of those that can help with that so that you're making the best decisions.
Yep, absolutely, man. If you're making decisions out of fear, then you're probably not going to get the result that you want. You're going to get a fearful result.
Alrighty. Well, this has been amazing conversation. Was there anything else that you wanted to share with anybody watching about your book or any other lessons or anything you have in store before we take our picture for today?
Yeah, I would say if you enjoy the work that I did, pass it on. If you know people that are coaches or players or athletic directors, or just if you think have to be all of that. If you just what up, OC? If you just basically if you just pass it on, man, I would appreciate people passing it on. Not for selfish reasons, but for reasons that I want the light to be spread and I want the knowledge to be spread as well.
Well, we've called this the Luminous Book Club. So that alignment, you already know you are on that path to letting that light shine. And again, it was an honor having you here, being able to document this and spread your message. And like I had told everybody before, we've put this on all the platforms, so you can reshare it on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and we can keep resharing it for years, just like the books, so that others can hear it. And like you said, pass it on. You send this video to a youth leader that have been looking for some content like this to inspire the young people. And I know I sent it to my little brother, like, hey, you look at this book, and maybe you'll think it's cool when somebody else says it. And he has been definitely picking it up. So just keep doing that work. And when you start dropping stuff, we're gonna be here to keep spreading that light and supporting along the way.
Okay, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, sure, man. I appreciate the support.
Awesome. Well, again, thanks everybody for watching. If you missed anything, go back, watch it again. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share it. Spread the word, and stay tuned, because we'll be back again next month for another Luminous Book Club. Peace.
Absolutely.